Your garden is quietly losing hundreds of dollars in food every single season, and the reason has nothing to do with your soil, your seeds, or your watering schedule. The culprit is something far simpler. Your plants are lying flat on the ground when they were built to grow straight up. Vertical gardening is one of the most powerful yet most underused strategies in the home food garden. When you shift even a handful of crops from horizontal sprawl to vertical structure, the results are almost immediate. More fruit, fewer pests, less disease, and double the growing space without touching a single extra inch of ground. Adam Grove here with Backyard Crops. Before diving in, if this channel has ever helped you grow smarter, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a new upload. Drop a comment right now telling everyone your USDA hardiness zone. That community knowledge is gold for every grower watching. This list counts down from crop 16 all the way to crop 1, the single crop almost every gardener grows, but almost nobody trellises the right way. Stay until the end because that final reveal could completely reshape how your garden performs this season. Crop 16, sweet potato vines. Most growers think of sweet potatoes as a root vegetable that needs wide open ground, but the long trailing vines are aggressive sprawlers that take over raised beds and smother nearby plants. Train those vines upward on a wire trellis or cattle panel fence and something remarkable happens. The tubers still form underground normally, but the vines stop competing with neighboring crops. Sun penetrates more evenly, soil stays drier and warmer, and tuber formation actually improves. Choose bush varieties like Vardaman if space is genuinely tight, but standard vines on a 5-foot vertical support work beautifully in USDA zones 8 through 11. In zones 5 through 7, grow them as seasonal annuals and start slips indoors 6 weeks before your last frost. Crop 15. Nasturtiums. Nasturtiums are treated almost universally as decorative ground cover. That is a missed opportunity on every level. Every part of this plant is edible. The blooms, the leaves, and the seed pods all carry a sharp, peppery bite that works perfectly in salads, pestos, and herbal vinegars. They're loaded with vitamin C and lutein, two nutrients that many homegrown diets lack. On a string trellis or garden fence, nasturtiums climb 6 to 8 feet with zero fuss. Air circulates freely through the foliage, which crushes aphid pressure dramatically. Even better, nasturtiums act as a living trap crop. They magnetically attract aphids away from tomatoes, beans, and peppers, functioning as a biological pest shield that costs almost nothing to set up. Grow them in USDA zones 2 through 11. In zones 9 and above, they grow as true perennials, coming back stronger each year from the base. If growing salsa verde at home is on the list, trellis nasturtiums are non-negotiable. Crop 13. Chayote. One plant, up to 100 fruit in a single growing season. Chayote is one of the most productive food crops available to home gardeners, and it is almost completely overlooked outside of Mexican and Caribbean cooking traditions. The pale green, pear-shaped fruits are versatile. Eat them raw, roasted, stuffed, or in soups and stir-fries. The vine itself is enormous, easily reaching 30 or more feet. Trellising is not an option. With chayote, it is mandatory. A strong pergola, arbor, or heavy cattle panel arch is the right structure. As the vines spread, the dense canopy creates deep shade underneath that becomes a perfect microclimate for heat-sensitive crops like lettuce, cilantro, and arugula during the hottest summer weeks. 2 full harvests from one trellis structure. Chayote thrives in USDA zones 7 through 11. In zones 9 and above, it grows as a true perennial, coming back stronger each year from the base. Crop 12. Yard long beans. Also called asparagus beans or Chinese long beans, these are exclusively climbing plants. There is no bush version. They need at least a 6-foot trellis and they will use every inch of it. The pods reach 18 inches or longer and hang down in plain sight for effortless harvesting. The biggest advantage over regular green beans is heat tolerance. When temperatures push above 90 degrees Fahrenheit and common green beans stall out entirely, yard-long beans shift into their highest gear. Yield per square foot in hot climates outperforms most other legumes. As nitrogen fixers, they actively build soil fertility while producing food. Plant after soil temperatures stabilize above 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Grow in USDA zones 7 through 11. For gardeners in the deep south, the Gulf Coast, and the southwest, this crop is arguably more reliable than standard green beans in midsummer. Crop 11. Loofah gourds. Those natural sponges sold at natural food stores and farmers markets are grown on a vine that stretches over 30 feet in a single season. Young loofah fruits eaten before they mature taste similar to zucchini. Allow them to dry on the vine for 120 days or more, and the fibrous interior becomes a natural scrubbing sponge that is fully compostable and plastic-free. Ground-grown loofah curves, discolors, and rots from soil contact. Loofah trellised hangs straight, dries evenly, and stays clean throughout the curing process. The structure needs to be heavy, reinforced cattle panels, thick wooden frames, or metal pipe arches because mature gourds carry serious weight. Grow in USDA zones 6 through 11. In zones 6 and 7, start seeds indoors 6 to 8 weeks before last frost because loofah needs at least 150 frost-free days to fully mature. Share this video with a gardener who buys loofahs at the store. They will be amazed. Crop 10. Melons. The single biggest barrier to trellising melons is fruit weight, and the solution is melon slings, small fabric hammocks made from strips of old t-shirts, mesh bags, or pantyhose, tied directly to the trellis structure. Each developing fruit rests in its own cradle as it grows. The space savings are dramatic. A single melon vine sprawls across 50 or more square feet on the ground. Trellised, it occupies just a few vertical square feet. Disease pressure from powdery mildew and downy mildew drops sharply because foliage dries quickly in open air. Fruits ripen more evenly because all sides receive direct sun. Best candidates for trellising are personal-sized cantaloupes, honeydew varieties, and icebox watermelons under 10 pounds. Full-size watermelons are generally too heavy for most home trellis structures. Melons grow in USDA zones 3 through 11 depending on variety. Choose short-season types in cooler climates. Crop 9. Winter squash. Butternut, acorn, delicata, and spaghetti squash routinely consume 20 to 50 square feet of garden bed per plant. For anyone growing in raised beds or a compact yard, that footprint is simply not sustainable. Train winter squash up a strong A-frame or cattle panel arch, and that same plant takes up only a few square feet at the base. Choose smaller fruited varieties. Delicata, acorn, and compact butternut types have strong natural tendrils that grip trellis wire without help. For larger fruits, use slings. The additional benefits beyond space savings include lifting foliage away from the soil where squash vine borers and squash bugs spend a day hiding, dramatically improving air circulation to fight powdery mildew, and making pest scouting effortless because the entire plant is visible at eye level. Grow in USDA zones 3 through 10. Most varieties need 75 to 100 frost-free days. Like and share this video if vertical squash growing is something new. The gardening community needs this information. Crop 8. Crop 2. Peas. Peas are the earliest crop on any trellis every single year, and they are chronically undersupported by most home gardeners. Sugar snap peas, snow teas, and shelling peas all produce curly tendrils that grab onto any thin support, wire mesh, trellis netting, twine, and even rough-surfaced bamboo. The critical error is giving peas supports that are too flimsy or too loosely spaced. With solid 6-foot support and tight spacing, pea vines distribute their weight evenly, remain upright through wind and rain, and produce pods that hang in clear view. Here is an advanced intensive gardening strategy worth knowing. Plant crops on both sides of a pea trellis simultaneously. Grow root vegetables like radishes or carrots on the sunny south-facing side. Tuck heat-sensitive lettuce or spinach on the north side. One trellis structure yields 3 simultaneous harvests and maximizes every inch of raised bed space. Peas grow in USDA zones 2 through 9. They're cold season crops planted in early spring as soon as soil is workable, often the first thing in the ground each year. If this two-sided trellis strategy is new, share this video with a fellow gardener right now. Crop 1. Tomatoes. Every gardener grows tomatoes. Almost nobody trellises them correctly. A standard 3-foot wire cage from the hardware store is not a vertical gardening system. It is a temporary suggestion that collapses under the weight of a healthy, indeterminate plant by midsummer, leaving vines flopping on the ground precisely when fruit production is at its absolute peak. Indeterminate tomato varieties, which include the majority of heirloom, cherry, and most popular slicing types, continue growing until frost kills them. They can reach 10, 12, even 15 feet tall when given genuine structural support. The professional methods that commercial growers and experienced home gardeners use include the Florida weave, vertical string systems anchored to overhead rails, and arched cattle panel tunnels. Each approach provides continuous upward support for the full growing season. Single stem training is the technique that most dramatically increases yield per plant. Select the main central leader as the primary growing stem, prune every side shoot, called a sucker, that emerges from the junction between the main stem and a leaf branch, train the single leader upward with clips at regular intervals. Every calorie the plant produces goes into that one vigorous stem and the fruit clusters it carries from bottom to top, rather than being divided among dozens of sprawling branches. Air circulation through a properly trellised single-stem tomato is exceptional, and air circulation is the primary defense against late blight, early blight, and septoria leaf spot, the 3 fungal diseases that end most home tomato seasons prematurely. Cherry varieties like Super Sweet 100 and Jasper can run over 15 feet on an arch trellis and produce literally thousands of fruits over the course of a season. Large slicing types like Better Boy on tall string trellises can be trained upward, allowed to reach the top, and then looped back downward for a second run of production on the same plant. Tomatoes grow in USDA zones 3 through 12. Start seeds indoors 6 to 8 weeks before last frost. Harden transplants off gradually over 7 to 10 days before setting them at the base of the trellis structure after all frost risk has passed. If one single change gets made in the vegetable garden this season, make it this. Build a real trellis and let tomatoes show what they were actually capable of all along. There it is, all 16 crops counted down from sweet potato vines at crop 16 straight to tomatoes at crop 1. Nasturtiums for pest control and edible flowers, tomatillos for cleaner salsa verde harvests, chayote for astonishing single-plant productivity, yard-long beans for summer heat performance, loofah gourds for a zero-waste sponge harvest, melons and winter squash for radical space savings, Malabar spinach for summer greens that never quit, bitter melon and cucumbers for superior fruit quality, pole beans, eggplant, and peppers for structural support that directly translates to more food, peas for intensive double-sided growing, and tomatoes for the single most impactful trellis upgrade in the home garden. 4 quick tips to close. Install trellis structures before planting, never after, to protect roots. Match structure strength to crop weight. Peas need string, melons need steel. Use trellis shade as a second growing zone for cool season crops below the main vine, and position tall trellises on the north side of beds so shadow falls away from sun-loving neighbors. Adam Grove here with Backyard Crops. Subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a comment telling which of these 16 crops is going up on a trellis this season. Share this video with every gardener who still hasn't made the switch to vertical growing. Happy growing! Crop 7. Bitter melon. Bitter melon is extensively studied in nutritional and metabolic research for its unique plant compounds, and it is a staple crop in Indian, Southeast Asian, and Caribbean food traditions. The flavor is genuinely bitter. It is an acquired taste that works brilliantly in curries, stir-fries, and stuffed preparations. The vine grows aggressively to 8 to 12 feet with attractive lobed foliage and small yellow flowers. Each plant produces 10 to 12 fruits, averaging about 8 inches long. On a trellis, fruits hang clearly visible for harvesting at exactly the right stage of ripeness. Ground-grown bitter melon hides fruits in the dense foliage where they overripen, split, and fall before being found. On a tall arch or panel trellis, the harvest window is easy to manage and fruit loss drops to nearly 0. Grow in USDA zones 8 through 11. Start seeds indoors in zone 8 and direct sow in zones 9 through 11 after soil warms. Crop 6. Cucumbers. Cucumbers produce curly tendrils specifically designed to wrap around vertical supports. They want to climb. Most garden setups simply do not give them the opportunity. Ground-grown cucumbers rest on moist soil, which invites rot, belly rot disease, slug damage, and soil-borne pathogens. Dense foliage traps humidity and powers outbreaks of powdery mildew and downy mildew. And hidden overripe cucumbers that turn yellow and enormous before being discovered are a common source of entire plant collapse. Once a cucumber plant sets a large mature fruit, it signals the plant to stop producing. On a trellis, every fruit hangs in plain sight, gets picked at peak ripeness, and the plant keeps producing continuously. Gravity pulls hanging fruits perfectly straight. Trellis cucumbers are uniformly shaped. Cucumbers grow in USDA zones 3 through 11. Choose compact pickling varieties for shorter structures and longer vining types like straight 8 or Japanese climbing for taller trellises. Subscribe to Backyard Crops for upcoming companion planting guides that pair perfectly with cucumber growing. Crop 5. Pole beans. The single most impactful swap in any garden is replacing bush bean seeds with pole bean seeds. Cornell University agricultural research has documented pole beans yielding 2 to 3 times more food than bush beans in equivalent garden space. The only additional input required is a trellis. Pole beans twine naturally around bamboo, string, cattle panels, wire fencing, and virtually any vertical surface. Pods hang clearly visible for effortless harvesting. Upright growth dramatically reduces disease pressure compared to bush types with foliage crowded at ground level in damp conditions. Classic varieties like Blue Lake Pole and Kentucky Wonder consistently outperform their bush equivalents. Purple varieties like Dow Purple Pod offer exceptional flavor. Flat Romano types offer exceptional flavor. Heirloom speckled varieties like Rattlesnake are especially heat tolerant. Pole beans are nitrogen fixers. They build soil fertility simultaneously with producing food, meaning every crop planted in that bed afterward benefits from freely available nitrogen. Grow in USDA zones 3 through 10. Crop 4. Eggplant. Eggplant does not vine or produce tendrils, which is exactly why most gardeners never trellis it. That is the mistake. These plants grow 4 to 5 feet tall and become severely top-heavy when carrying a full fruit load. Without support, branches snap, fruits drag on the ground and rot from soil contact, and collapsed foliage creates humid pockets where flea beetles and fungal diseases concentrate. A simple string trellis or stake and twine system solves all of these problems simultaneously. Run a string from the base of the plant up to a horizontal support bar and wrap the main stem gently as it grows. Add soft clips every 12 inches. Setup takes under 5 minutes per plant and protects the harvest for the entire season. Every fruit stays clean, visible, and accessible. Air moves freely through the canopy. Flea beetle pressure decreases noticeably on trellis plants because the microclimate around the foliage is less humid. Grow in USDA zones 5 through 12. Start seeds indoors 8 to 10 weeks before last frost for the strongest transplants. Crop 4. Peppers. Bell peppers, habaneros, jalapenos, and most large-fruited hot pepper varieties become dangerously top-heavy as they approach peak production. Branches that were strong and upright in early summer bend, crack, and snap under the combined weight of a full fruit set by August. Run horizontal support strings along both sides of a pepper row, creating a bilateral cradle that holds every plant upright throughout the season. Add a new level of string every 12 inches as the plants grow taller. The underappreciated benefit beyond preventing stem breakage is light exposure. When peppers grow upright and spread naturally, every leaf surface receives more direct sunlight. More light means more photosynthesis, more plant energy, and measurably more fruit per plant. Research from university extension programs has consistently shown that supported plants out-yield unsupported plants in the same conditions. Grow in USDA zones 5 through 12. Hot varieties perform best in zones 8 through 12. Sweet bells excel in zones